Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic / Non-Classic. This is episode number 721, not 721, 717, and Doubleshot number 621. I keep jumping here for that. Sorry about that. Okay, two vendor trades. More stuff, basically, I've never used before, and also more trades I've owned for almost 10 years now. Okay, first up is it's actually the second trade collecting from this Rare's run for this particular series, but it is from a series that lasted from 2007 to 2010. Yeah, this series only lasted for 36 issues before being canceled. Yep, because of the event Siege. Though the series was brought back 3 years later under Al Ewing, but that series only lasted for about, I think it was like 9 issues. It was really damn short. Short of this book. Okay, first up it is Mighty Avengers, The Unspoken. Yeah, I have shown this out before when I went to, I think it was MegaCon Orlando last year, where I got these autographs. Actually, it was MegaCon Tampa. I think it was MegaCon Tampa. Actually, it was Tampa Comic Con last year, where I got the autographs by the artist. Now, the story for this particular one is that U.S. agent Quicksilver and some other woman are in China. They're investigating some inhuman activity. And Quicksilver is immediately recognized who this person is, and you look up like, oh crap, it's the Unspoken. Yeah. Oh, and I spoke to the artist. The Unspoken was all Dan Slott's idea. Yep. Dan Slott's the writer along with Christos Gage. Yep, Christos Gage. Also, in case you're a little curious though about Dan Slott writing a group series like Fantastic Four, he's like, has he had experience with that? Yes, he has. This was his second group series. The first one he wrote was GLA, aka Grey Avengers, which was only 4 issues in this series. This one only lasted for 16 issues, surprisingly. This is only the second trade of Collects' run. Yep. And with this one, because the fact that the Unspoken took out the People's Defense Force, that's the Chinese version of the Avengers, which is like Radioactive Man, the Collective, basically a bunch of Chinese superheroes. He takes them out, basically, according to U.S. Agent, he Alpha Flight them. Yeah, he Alpha Flight them. What does that mean? Yeah, this was a reference to a Bendis storyline that happened back in 2006, just prior to Civil War, where the guy who became the second Guardian killed most of Alpha Flight by simply by a blinding light, and then poof, knocked them all out. Though in the case of Alpha Flight, they actually did die, with the exception of Sasquatch. In the case of these people, they all got knocked out. So basically, Quicksilver had to initiate a Omega level Avengers threat. So, bring in all the Avengers. But Scarlet Witch, which I'll review who it is in a minute, basically, is not actually Scarlet Witch. She's the one that brought this team together. The team consisted of these following people: Hercules, Amadeus Cho, Iron Man, briefly for a few issues. They also have the Wasp, who was Hank Pym. Trying to think who else. It was, I think it was Jocasta. Yeah, these are the members: Hank Pym, the Wasp, Jocasta, Jarvis, Hercules, Amadeus Cho, Straxure, and Vision. Yep. Along with U.S. Agent Quicksilver. This is the lineup for pretty much most of the series up until toward the end during Siege. Yep. And those of you curious though, what the heck does the Unspoken look like? Well, this is him. That is the Unspoken. I should point out though that the Unspoken himself has here's a good picture of him from a cover appearance. Yeah. The thing about this guy is, despite the fact he's a creation of Dan Slott, no one knows what his real name really is, because according to the flashback, his name was removed from Inhuman's history because he removed something called the Slave Engine, and they reference apparently that Karnak went through the Terra Genesis project, which that was later retconned in another book where he never went through it at all. Despite the fact being inhuman, he never went through Terra Genesis at all. Yeah, it's really weird. So Black Emperor overthrew him, took his crown, made himself king, and basically exiled the Unspoken, and he lived with the Alpha Primates. So yeah, they find out what the whole thing with what Scarlet Witch is. Yeah, okay. You want to know who Scarlet Witch is? It's Loki. Yep, it's Loki. Preferably the female Loki. Yep, the female Loki. Yeah, this is something that Mike Krasinski came up with during his run for Thor, his very brief run for Thor, which basically ended when he left Marvel Comics. And he jumped over DC to Superman, Wonder Woman briefly, before he had to do the Superman Earth 1 stuff. Yep. Oh, by the way, guess how they found out this was Loki? Hawkeye shows up, well, during his Ronin phase. Yeah, he borrows Kate Bishop's bow, and the way he figured out, though, who he is, Scarlet Witch, because he's actually had sex with her. Yeah, there was this year in New Avengers, he had sex with Scarlet Witch. The same woman who indirectly killed him during Disassembled. So he's like, okay. So he decides to make out with the Scarlet Witch. Yeah, and he's like, no, those lips don't belong to Scarlet Witch. That belongs to somebody else. Yeah, and those who are curious, though, who is the female body that Loki uses when he's female form? That's actually Lady Sif's body. Yeah, so he basically walks around for about 2 years as a woman in Lady Sif's body. Not joking about that. This is something that JMS came up with. I think even Gillian later revealed that too. It was really bizarre. It was one of the most oddest things that Marvel did with Loki. So he got outed, and Straxer, who had found out about Scarlet Witch being evil, and not being the actual Scarlet Witch, basically she couldn't tell anybody because basically Scarlet Witch cast a spell on her. Now since she was freed, yeah, she tells him that Quicksilver has initiated a mega level of threat, so call all the Avengers in. They call in the new Avengers. They call in the Avengers Resistance from the Avengers Initiative series. I'm about to talk about them soon. And they even try to call in the Dark Avengers, which was bizarre. And then it was like, after Amadeus Cho and Hercules knew for a fact, yeah, they're not going to listen to them. Because apparently Osborn doesn't care for them at all. So he's like, okay. After they leave, it's like, he tells Sentry, Bob, toss that door to the sun, please. It's so funny. And then pretty much all these Avengers teams surround the Unspoken. It takes a while, but they do defeat him. It takes a good, several issues to defeat him. But it's great. And after they defeat him, there's a nice little epilogue which kind of follows up from Silent War. Yeah, a follow-up from Silent War, which I don't think Slott wrote that one. I don't remember if he did. I have to look it up. Yeah, because they reference, though, the humans declared war in the United States. Let's see if I can find it here. I know it's in Humans' little miniseries. Yeah, it's done by David Hayne. Yeah, he's the one who did it. I'm a little surprised they actually decided to reference this series. And yeah, they later they had Quicksilver return stuff he took from the Inhumans from the Son of M series. Yeah, they referenced that in here as well, where he took because his powers, even though that he got his powers stripped from him thanks to his sister. Yeah, he got his power restored thanks to Terrigenesis. And of course, it was later recognized, apparently Terrigenesis is poisonous in humans. No idea why the Marvel did that for, but they did. So he turns him, apologizes to his former sister-in-law, and yeah, because him and Crystal used to be married, they later divorced because she cheated on him. Yeah, she had an affair with an insurance man. I'm not kidding. She did. This happened back in the 80s. Though she apparently got custody of their daughter for some reason. Yeah, Quicksilver's got a daughter. She says that she still loves she still loves her father, but she can no longer trust him because he lied. Yep, he lied. So yeah, great story. 9.5 out of 10. Really awesome. If you want to check out Dan Slott's book, check this out. This is actually one of 3 trades because the previous volume collects the first 6 issues of this run. I don't know why I'm here knocking for. Okay, next up is Avengers The Initiative, which it collects issues 26-30 of this series. Yeah, no volume numbering, but yeah. This is written by Christos Gage, artwork by Rafa Sabadell, and Jorge Medina. Yeah, this just deals with more stuff. This is kind of a, it's connected to Dark Reign, but not listed as a tie-in. Yep, because Norman Osborn basically establishes Camp Hammer in here, which makes his first appearance in here. And they also have Penance. He makes appearance here. It's actually Speedball. And he does run into his old friends, the New Warriors, and apparently they have 3 new teams who join the initiative. One of whom happens to be the UFOs, and they represent North Carolina of all things. Yeah. So, and throughout the course, they even mentioned the whole thing about Tigra, about what happened to her, where she was the hood broke into her apartment, where he threatened to kill her, threatened her family, and he beat the living crap out of her, videotaped it, and showed it to all his friends. Yeah. So she got payback by beating the crap out of one of the Brothers Grimm, and videotaped and put it on the internet. Yep. Yeah. I like the stuff of New Warriors. And basically, it's kind of like this series became indirectly a New Warriors comic book because the Avengers because they become Avengers resistant here because they couldn't call themselves New Warriors because of the bad name. So basically, they also added Night Thrasher to the team after the previous team disbanded. They also referenced what happened at the end of the Volume 4 of New Warriors, where Night Thrasher tried to bring back his late brother, was killed off in Civil War #1. Yeah, during the Stanford, yeah, that's referencing here as well. Mm-hmm. And plus, also, there's a big brawl between Avengers Resistance and the forces of Camp Hammer, and then this guy shows up. It's the Doctor Strange villain, Nightmare. Yeah, he's possessing his son. Yeah, the character Trauma, who's in this series, he's actually, believe it or not, Nightmare's son. Not kidding. And they show his backstory. I'm like, okay, this backstory is almost a carbon copy of what happened with Raven. Yeah, of how she was conceived. Okay, did Christos Gage rip off Marv Wolfman with this backstory? It seems like he did, because Nightmare and Trigon are both demons. The only difference is Nightmare has another realm. Trigon's from another dimension. Yeah, it's really weird that apparently Trauma's backstory is a carbon copy of Raven's. But difference is Trauma is a psychiatrist, which makes sense. Nightmare, and of course Raven, is a superhero. Yeah. So he quits working for Camp Hammer and gets some people out of the country. Also, the heavy hitters leave Initiative because they publicly out Norman Osborn for employing psychopaths and criminals to the Initiative, and apparently he's corrupted the Initiative. Yep. By far, really good storytelling by Christos Gage. I give this book a 9.5 out of 10. Another trade series I want to get more because this is a damn good series. And Christos Gage did stay on for the replacement series that came after this, Avengers Academy. Yep. Alright, so and they also mentioned stuff that happened in the Avengers Initiative series. The whole thing about this character, MVP. His real name is Michael Von Patrick. I killed off in the first issue. And there's these 3 Spire Slayer clones who are actually clones of him. And their names are Michael, Van, and Patrick. Yep. And they also try to bring Night Thrasher in here. That fails. So yeah. So it's kind of like with this one, you gotta mainly read the main Initiatives series. With this one, you gotta read the previous volume, and you also gotta read Silent War and Son of M to understand the references they make in here. Which, one thing I don't like about these trades is they don't include editorial stuff that happened. Like, they mention, okay, the humans declare war in the United States. If you read this first time, you're like, what are you talking about? When the heck did this happen? Silent War. When did Quicksilver steal these special gems from the humans? Son of M. That's when he did it. I really wish they would put that in there, but they didn't. This one, mostly you just have to read the pages of the Initiative just to understand what's going on here. But look up, I have a pretty good idea what's going on because I've read the series before, right? So that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for whenever I get a chance to put up another review. So we'll be another Avengers trade, and it'll be one trade I got from one DT trade I got today from Barnes & Noble. But the next video I'm gonna put up today is gonna be a One Piece review. I forgot to do yesterday because I was playing some Lego Avengers. Yeah, but I expect to see One Piece review today. Okay, but to see you in the next review. Bye.